Hey guys, so for our second episode of Let's Talk Mental Health, I just wanted to talk about gaming and mental health. So, not everybody watching this will play games, but I'm sure there is somebody in your life that does play games. So, it could still be useful information to sort of take. And if you do play games, you may find this relevant, or you may have already hit exactly what I'm talking about. So, what I first want to sort of go through is my experience with gaming. So, I play World of Warcraft, play World of Warcraft Classic, and anybody that's ever played that before, I got to rank 14 in the first lockdown. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's the highest sort of rank you can get in player versus player concept of the game. And to get to that point, you need to commit about 40 to 60 hours a week consecutively for 8 weeks. So it effectively becomes a full-time job, and you get all the sort of best items and weapons in the game as a result of it. But it takes a lot of time. And in the process, I did learn some valuable skills. I was playing with the same sort of 9 people every day. Relationship building, sort of conflict management, team leading when required. But if I was to sit down in a job interview and use that as an example of times I've worked in a team, or times I've been resilient, because it was very time demanding to spend that many hours a week playing a game, doing the same sort of repetitive concept, it wouldn't mean anything to the employer, and that can be quite hard to process when it's something that you've committed so much time to. For 8 weeks, my brain was committing to this one big goal, big accomplishment, and that is kind of tapping into your inner drive to accomplish a goal that you think will lead to your happiness and a feeling of success. But while I was bringing myself up really high in the game, I wasn't going anywhere in real life. I was smoking a lot of cigarettes a day to sort of deal with the stress and give myself little breathers. I was sort of removing myself from contact with my real life friends, and literally the only thing I was thinking about was playing this game, hitting the goal. I wasn't exercising, I wasn't eating properly. I just wanted to have quick meals that would fill me up so I could continue playing the game. And by the end of the 8 week, I was physically and emotionally drained. And it was like I was using all of my energy to build up Nick in the game, but Nick in real life was all the way down here. And at the end of sort of lockdown, I had the opportunity to go meet up with my friends and sit out in the park and have some drinks in the sun. And I felt like anxiety beforehand, because I felt like there was nothing that I actually had to talk to them about that wasn't to do with the game, and none of them would understand what I was talking about if I just started blabbing on about it. But once I was actually with them, I found that the sort of natural chemistry that I have with my close friend group was fine. I didn't have anything sort of positive to note that I've done lately, other than I've sat around playing a game a lot of hours every day. It's so nice to just have a change of scenery and talk to people on a different level. And my friends know that I'm a closet nerd, so they accepted that, and then we just went on as normal. And I came back and I felt like that is the first sort of time in 8 weeks that I'd actually done something to develop Nick outside the game, just having communication. It's almost like you're a Sims character if you think about it. If you're spending all your time with one thing, all your other sort of levels of satisfaction and happiness start to drop. That's enough game talk. Mainly what I'm sort of moving towards is gaming can be a coping mechanism, and it's a fantastic form of escapism. When you are in that game, you are a different person, especially games like World of Warcraft or League of Legends or RuneScape or anything like that, because as soon as you're in that game, you aren't you. Like my character on World of Warcraft is a gnome with a pink beard. It looks nothing like what I look like in real life, and you spend all your time and effort, and the sole purpose of you being in the game is to develop this character, which has nothing to do with what you're like in real life. So any sort of pain you carry around with you, any drama, any boredom, as simple as that, is just kind of put to the side, and you're in the game, and it's a fantastic feeling. And escapism through hobbies that you enjoy are really good like that, as long as you put balance into it. Because if you spend too much time developing yourself in a game, let's say you spent an entire weekend off work and you were developing a profession in a game the whole time, and you felt really accomplished that you'd done that, but you weren't able to cook food in real life. You were just having microwave meals, and you didn't know how to make a steak or anything like that. So your cooking skill might be really high in a game, but your cooking skill in real life is low. And I'll say, like, do you think there'll be a point in your life where you're going to start putting the same sort of energy into building yourself in real life, the same as your character, treating yourself as a character that you need to develop and channel your sort of goal, drive, success center of your brain to developing yourself in real life? Or are you going to be 70 years old with grandkids, wife, career, pension, and the whole time you will have been prioritizing your game identity? Or will there be a point where you sort of step back from the game and develop yourself in real life because you notice there's a lot of things that you kind of have been neglecting or sort of taking your attention from? Now, as I say, gaming is a positive thing, and it's a great form of escapism that's helped me and many people that I know a lot. And when you're sort of coming, especially like lockdown, I'm in this student room or most of the time because I have online classes and I sleep in here, play games, and it's nice to kind of step into an imaginary world where you can just kind of detach from what's going on around you. But the main sort of thing to kind of bear in mind is if you want to sort of focus more on living a healthy life, you should focus on that balance of the two. You might have woke up with an idea of sort of things that you wanted to do that day that were away from the game, but then you sat down on your PC and you got a message from one of your friends on Discord or any sort of messaging, and you were like, yo man, you coming on? And you're like, oh yeah, the thing I wanted to do today, that can wait. And then you sit down, and as soon as you're down, you're having fun, you're immersed, you play that all day, and you go to sleep at the end of the day. I didn't do that thing. And it could be a minor thing that can wait, or it could be something that, like, for example, like uni work or some work that you had to do for your job in your spare time, and you've kind of either rushed it or neglected it or done it late because you got distracted and immersed and kind of got carried away and started to focus more about the needs of and the development of your in-game self over your real self. And then, which is going to suffer the most in the long term, like you or your character? Like my pink bearded gnome, he can wait if I think about it. I enjoy the way I feel when I'm developing him and, doing things online. I feel really good about that when I'm having it, but it is like a short-term sort of buzz. As soon as I'm off the game, I usually find that I'll lie in bed and I'll think about everything that I kind of wanted to do that I didn't end up doing, and that sort of hangs over me. So, what I would sort of recommend, this is just because this has worked for me. Like, I'm not an expert, I can only speak from experience. But what I found sort of works for me is I have a sort of checklist that I keep for each week, and I keep it next to my PC, so you'll see it right here. And I use that to sort of bring more awareness to what I wanted to achieve in real life at the start of the week, and monitor how my productivity is. And if at any point I sort of notice I've not got any ticks this week, then I kind of take a step back and just find myself being like, right, I can't play the game today because I've been focusing too much of my time and energy on that. I need to get some ticks. And I also find my inner sort of competitive sort of self likes the aspect of being able to work towards, oh, I want to get that tick today, because that's kind of like the sort of thing you get from the game at the same time. It's a way of incorporating it in real life. So, you know, you might have a bunch of levels that you need to do on a game, and you do all of them in one day and you feel really good about it. And it's like how it comes up on the screen and it says like, you've completed the level. And naturally you just get like a dopamine rush, like, oh yeah, I'm on top of the world, I completed that level. So I'm trying to incorporate it in real life. So it's like simple things like do my laundry, clean my room, clean the kitchen, go to class, and then some appointments that I needed to attend or calls that I wanted to do. All these kind of different things that make sure that I keep a nice healthy balance and I'm on track to where I want to be in real life. And once I know that I'm on track to this because I've done all the ticks and I'm doing really well for the week, then I can play the game guilt-free and you're maintaining that nice balance. So that sort of brings us to a conclusion. So there's a lot of different coping mechanisms you can come up with, or ways to sort of deal with maintaining the gaming life balance. It just sort of begins with being aware of where your main energy goes into, and sort of trying to work around, maybe, you know, stop yourself getting stuck in that trap and being able to go like, right, I've played the game for about 4 hours, what is this thing I wanted to do today? So I'm going to take a couple hours away from the game and I'm going to do that. Once I've done it, then I can go back to the game and I'll go to sleep tonight and I'll feel like I've done everything I wanted to do today. Like, that's where you want to be, really. It's just finding that balance. And as I say, even if you don't play games, this may have been helpful. You might know somebody who might be finding themselves, you know, getting a little bit caught up in the balance between the two. Maybe they're developing themselves too much and they're an absolute noob in the game. Well, then they need a talking to. It's not okay to be a noob. But yeah, that brings us to a close. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope everybody's doing well. As in the last video, if you want sort of leave any feedback, your own sort of experiences, what you found to help, then the floor is yours. You know, we're just here to talk through mental health and different ways that we can make living an easier, smoother process and make everybody happy at the same time. Spread the positive vibes. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a good morning, evening, afternoon, wherever you are. And take care. I'll see you in the next one.